Breaking news, we have an injury update. The other day on the channel, we went over how the Dallas Mavericks are dealing with a litany of injuries to the roster, ranging from minor ones like PJ Washington and his hip tightness, to ones a little bit more serious like Dante Exum. And today we finally got news that Dante Exum did require surgery, and it went well on his wrist, but he is going to miss significant time. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what is going on with Dante Exum, what does this mean for our backup guards, and who we can expect to see step up in his absence. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 13,504 subscribers. We are less than 1,500 subs away from my goal of 15,000 subs. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, the news vids, the live watch-alongs, the giveaways, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But on with the video, because like I said, the Dallas Mavericks, we're dealing with a bunch of injuries to the roster, and a team as talented as the Dallas Mavericks, who just made it to the NBA Finals, the last thing that you want to hear before we go into one of the biggest seasons that we've had in a long time is we're dealing with injuries. If we take a look right here, it was reported about 2 days ago before our first preseason game. The report came out saying that Luka Doncic is dealing with a left calf contusion, Kyrie Irving was out due to rest, same as Klay Thompson. PJ had a left hip tightness. Maxey had left ankle sprain. Exum with his right wrist. Williams with a right calf strain. And Edwards as well with a left ankle sprain will be out for tonight's game versus Memphis. And although we mainly had our second and third string unit, the Dallas Mavericks looked pretty good. Our bench was able to hold their own. They only lost to the Memphis Grizzlies by about 5 points, but they still look pretty good. And for tomorrow's game against the Utah Jazz, we'll have a couple more guys back, so hopefully we can walk away with a dub. But these injuries, to some people, it is a little bit glaring. Again, it's not something that you want to hear about your team right before you head into a big season. After the summer that we had, getting Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, you want to hear good stuff, like the guys are healthy, they're better than ever, they're ready to take that next leap, instead of, hey, everyone's hurt. And the one player that's probably dealing with one of the worst injuries out of all these players is Dante Exum, as he was out in Monday's game against the Grizzlies with a right wrist injury. Nothing really came out if it was a sprain or if he broke it or what was going on. I tried to find something before this video, couldn't find the specifics, but we did have this drop earlier today via Shams. The Dallas Mavericks guard Dante Exum is expected to miss 3 months after undergoing right wrist surgery, sources tell ESPN. Extended early loss to the Mavericks backcourt. So, yeah, we're not sure what was wrong with Dante's wrist, but he did have surgery, which went well. He's going to be out for about 3 months, which means we won't have Dante Exum back until January, right before the trade deadline. So, not to say we need to trade Dante Exum, but if there's any value there after his injury, something that you may want to explore. But what does this mean for the Dallas Mavericks? How can we maneuver with this first blow to our roster? Unlike last year, I think we're going to be fine. We do have an abundance of guards. Obviously, with our starters, we have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. But off the bench, we have Quentin Grimes. We have Najee Marshall, who is more of a forward wing player, but can also bring the ball down and play make. We have Spencer Dinwiddie. We have Jaden Hardy. And if our man Gortman actually makes the roster, sure, bring him off from the depths of the bench. For all intents and purposes, we are going to be fine without Dante Exum. This is arguably an okay thing. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. You don't wish that on anybody, especially your own players, but we are in a good position. Like I said earlier, last season without Dante, it was pretty rough without having that third ball handler. Obviously with Luka and Kyrie, they can make things happen, but last year, Jaden Hardy was still rough around the edges. Josh Green wasn't really able to play, make, and facilitate, and we really didn't have that third ball handler. But Nico Harrison is the GM for a reason. The man is a genius, and he was able to solve that problem well before it even happened by going after certain guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, like Quentin Grimes. So in the case of our third or maybe even fourth string point guard being hurt, like Dante Exum, we're good. We've got players. We can throw in any different lineups that we want. We will be fine. As long as no one else gets injured, knock on wood, nothing crazy happens before the start of the season, we'll be fine. And the sentiment that a lot of Mavericks fans have is, well, it's the beginning of the season. Much rather get it out the way now if there are going to be any injuries, instead of right before the playoffs, we hear Dante Exum's out for 3 months, then you're not getting Dante for the playoffs at all. Dante Exum had a great season for us last year as he returned to the NBA and really showed the Dallas Mavericks organization and fans that in any capacity that you need him to be in, he can step up to the plate and help provide winning basketball. He had major clutch shots, clutch moments all throughout the season last year. Although he did kind of struggle and kind of fell off a cliff in the playoffs, hopefully this year will be different for him. But unfortunately, we will have to go without him for the first 3 months due to this injury. But who will step up in absence of Dante Exum? Well, I'd like to say we may have somewhat of a party, and not just any party, but a Hardy party. Our man Jaden Hardy looked very good in the first game of the preseason, putting up 21 points, the most out of any other player, and he looked pretty good, shooting 6 of 10 from 3. He was very efficient. Still having a few of those mistakes and those rookie mistakes. I guess he's not a rookie anymore. He's in his third year, but still showing signs that he still has room to grow with the turnovers, the careless fouls, but knowing how to make up for it on the other end. If we take a look at Jaden Hardy's stats from last season, Jaden Hardy last season put up 7.3 points, 1.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 0.1 blocks, 0.3 steals, 0.8 turnovers, and 1.1 fouls per game, while shooting 40% from the field and 36% from 3. He shoots 35% on corner threes, 84% of his threes are assisted, and 46% of all shots are threes. And I think that if Jaden Hardy is given the room to grow, something I've always said, if Jaden Hardy has the room to grow and make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, I think he could be an integral part to this team. What I saw in the first preseason game, although it was just one game and it's just preseason, there was definitely some improvements to Jaden Hardy's game. He's way more efficient on scoring. His decision making has gotten better, and although he did still make a few mistakes, he knew how to make up for it when they got the ball back on the other end. So Jaden Hardy stepping up for Dante Exum, I'm all for it. I would love to see Jaden Hardy finally blossom into that player that we all know that he can be. But a lot of people are saying that may not be what we need from Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy is more of a two guard, a shooting guard. That's the type of player that Jaden Hardy needs to be for the Dallas Mavericks team. And so some people are arguing, okay, Spencer Dinwiddie, that's why we brought him on the team, right? The last time Spencer was here, he played arguably his best basketball of his career. So Spencer's obviously going to get those minutes from Dante. And even Jason Kidd said before all these injuries, Jason Kidd said that Dante Exum was going to lead the second unit and Spencer Dinwiddie would be more towards the end of the bench. But now with these injuries, I'm sure all that's going to change. And some may say that, yes, Spencer will probably get more of those minutes from Dante. I think that's probably where Jason Kidd's going to go. Rely on your veteran. Rely on someone that you're more familiar with, like Spencer Dinwiddie. But I think that those extra minutes are also going to be split with Jaden Hardy. Jason Kidd already said in the media day that he expects Jaden Hardy to get more minutes. He plans to give Jaden Hardy more minutes. So I'm all for a little Hardy party to see Jaden Hardy finally get that room to grow and show everybody what he can do. I know Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be very good for us as well. So all in all, it's not the end of the world. Again, you don't want to hear about injuries. You don't want to hear about guys missing extended time. 3 months is a very long time, but we're good. We are well equipped to deal with an injury like Dante Exum being out for 3 months. But if we take a look right here, the other day, Jaden Hardy had 21 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. It was 6 of 10 from 3 against the Memphis Grizzlies. The 21 points is nice. We all know that Jaden Hardy is a bucket. If he plays 10 minutes, he can walk away with 10 points. But the 9 assists, I mean, for the season last year, he averaged barely 1 assist a game. But the other night, he was able to get 9 assists. That shows you that his playmaking, his decision-making, and his court vision has improved. And this wasn't just a Memphis Grizzlies team with nobody. They were playing John Morant. They were playing their starters. The only starter that wasn't playing was Jaren Jackson Jr. So props to Jaden Hardy for having a great first game of preseason. Hopefully, he can continue that with tomorrow's game. But also, the 6 of 10 from 3, I love it. If he can keep that up, I doubt Jaden Hardy's going to go the whole season shooting 6 of 10 from 3, but if he can just walk away 3 attempts, 3 makes a night on 5 attempts, 3 of 5, I'm all for it. I think Jaden Hardy can definitely, maybe not replicate this type of production, but can continue this production well into the season. But if we look at Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm all over the place here. If we look at Spencer Dinwiddie, it wasn't really that eye-opening or didn't really jump at you. Spencer Dinwiddie the other night only had 4 points, 3 steals, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and was 1 of 3 from 3. Obviously, he's got some dust he's got to knock off. He's got to really get into his rhythm and really feel the game. And we have to remember that this Dallas Mavericks team is very different from when Spencer was here just a few years ago. It's completely different. So he has to adjust to what we're doing now. We have a new GM. Well, we don't really have a new GM, but we have a new GM in Nico Harrison who has put better talent around Luka Doncic and the rest of his team. So I think Spencer Dinwiddie may have a learning curve where someone like Jaden Hardy is going to be ready to go. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who do you think deserves to get Dante Exum's minutes? Jaden Hardy, Spencer Dinwiddie, or maybe someone else? Let me know in the comment section down below. We could have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far into the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway. The winner will be announced next week during a live stream. And tomorrow we are going live for Game 2 of the preseason. Make sure you're there. Make sure you drink water. Peace.